Well, good evening and good to be back with you again on Geelong Newsbeat. I suppose we've seen nothing but interest rates and stock market ups and downs and so on for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it's been quite remarkable, of course, in this, what's the word, the global economy of what happens in the US and what's happening in Japan and in Europe and so on, and very much affecting us as well in terms of property markets and mortgage rates and so on. In the long run, there's probably very few people unaffected by it. Here in Geelong, we've got to look towards the impending job cuts at Ford, and that will probably have a spin-off in many other places, and our hearts go out to those people whose work is particularly under threat. And of course the difficulties for them financially will be much greater as not just the mortgage rates but the lack of employment. Let's hope that that can be picked up and remedied in the very near future. But within all of this, of course, we've got to manage. One of the things which happens, of course, as the difficulties of life roll on, and perhaps it's all very well for people who aren't in that situation to say, oh, well, just ride over it. The reality is we do have to somehow manage life nonetheless. We know that when we're in other situations of maybe bereavement, life-threatening illnesses, harm coming to people that we love, these are the times when it really sets us back and makes us think about, well, do the economic things matter as much as we think they do? As I say, it's easy to be in the grandstand perhaps for any of us if we're managing okay at a particular given time, but in fact, of course, these sort of global situations with regard to the economy do affect each and every one of us. It's up to us, though, to decide just how much they affect us. Do they make us short-tempered with other people? Do they make us lose heart? Do they make us depressed? And so on. And they can do all of those things, of course, if we allow them. Somehow or other, of course, each of us is called upon to maybe get back into second gear and to start to think about, well, what is life about? What are the important things? Do I still have people that I love? Do I still have people who love me? Do I still have relationships in my life which are important to me? In particular, of course, do I still have my health? And if we have that, it's often said, our health is our wealth. And of course, there will be some people maybe even listening to this and say, well, I don't have too many good relationships, my health isn't all that good, and my finances aren't in good shape either. And that can happen. Some people seem to just cop it on all sorts of different levels. How do we manage with all of that? And the answer is, I suppose, it's maybe a facile sort of an answer, but maybe we've just got to think in terms of our recognition of what our life is about. For those of us who have a religious faith, well, that can make a very big difference indeed as we recognise the whole value and purpose in our life and the way in which we try and put the challenges of each day together. But certainly at this time, we don't know as we pick up the paper from one day to the next what life is going to bring in interest rates and mortgage rates and all the rest of it that are going to be there for us. They will affect us. They will affect even employment and so on. But we need to somehow just take a bit of a step back, take a deep breath, think of what is really important to us. What are the things, and maybe especially who are the people? What are the values? What is the faith that really keeps us going? Sometimes when we're just cruising along and everything's very rosy, we don't think about these things. We just take them for granted. Maybe in tough economic times and the unpredictability that we're looking at the moment on so many different levels, it's the spring carnival racing, and we had long shots in the Get Home in the Caulfield Cup the other day. Well, these are the things which make us realise that maybe it's the outside chance that things can come good. It's the outside chance that we can manage, and we need to perhaps back ourselves, back our own resilience, our own toughness, our own faith, our own resolve to recognise that even though the challenges may be difficult, whether it's in employment or in economics or in just managing financially from one day to the next, God has given us a lot of opportunities and He's given us a lot of resilience to manage whatever comes our way. So I hope if you're affected by any of the things that are happening at the moment, I certainly hope and pray that God will give you the strength and the resolve and the perseverance to get through, because maybe tomorrow's a much better day. Let's hope and pray that it is. Good to be with you on Geelong Newsweek.